Hello everyone, my name is Abdurrahman Dedemazdev and I am a team leader of this group project. Our main topic is ethical dilemmas in artificial intelligence. And here you can see our outline and who is going to talk about what. Yeah, and let's start with the introduction. Introduction to the AI and ethics. First of all, before talking about ethics with artificial intelligence, let's define what is artificial intelligence in the first place. Artificial intelligence or AI refers to the machine or computer system which can perform the tasks which usually required to do with the people, such as some kind of task which includes learning from experience, recognizing speech or images, and understanding natural languages. In other words, AI is all around us, whether we realize it or not. It is behind of Google search, Netflix recommendations, Siri responses even before the ChatGPT or this kind of technologies. And why the ethics with artificial intelligence is important. Let me give you the simple example. Imagine the self-driving cars is heading towards the crosswalk, and should it protect its passenger or the pedestrian? Or think about hiring algorithms that unintentionally favors gender or race over the another. Okay, this kind of problems can be rise after the AI is using in self-driving cars. And for this kind of problems, uh, who will be the responsible developer or company or the driver or pedestrian? And this main topic we are going to answer during our presentation. And let's continue our presentation with our next teammate.
Hello everyone, let's talk about algorithmic bias. Let's start with a basic question. What is algorithmic bias? So basically, it happens when an AI system produces results that are systematically unfair to certain groups or individuals. So this can include anything from misidentifying person to denying them opportunities. For example, like a job, like a loan, or even a parole, right? So at first glance, it might AI might seem natural, but after all, it's just code and data, right? But the truth is, AI reflects human decisions, or even sometimes human prejudices. So let's give a couple of real world examples. Let's consider the one with facial recognition. In 2018, MIT researchers found that commercial facial recognition system misidentified like a staggering 30% of the time uh, dark-skinned women compared to less than 1% for white men. And why? Because the training data was overwhelmingly made up of white male faces. And then these systems were used by police departments and led to wrongful arrests, you know. And case was particular for black men. And in one case, the man in Detroit named Robin Williams was falsely matched and arrested in front of his children due to it was wrong decision by facial recognition software. The next example is hiring algorithms. A well-known case for this is Amazon's recruiting tool. The system was trained on resumes from the past 10 years of the data, and the issue was the resumes were mostly of the men because the tech industry itself has been male dominated area, right? So as a result, the AI system downgraded resumes that included the word women, like women's chess club captain, and the company eventually scrapped the tool. So basically, these are some examples. Let's move to the next slide. Where does bias come from? So there are some reasons for this, and the three main sources are, and the first one is biased training data. So basically, AI systems learn from data, and if the data reflects inequality, such as historical hiring decisions, or and in that case, the AI will learn and repeat those patterns. In short, biased in, biased out. Yeah. The second reason for this is human design decisions. Even like developer is well-meaning and well-mannered, like he or she can unintentionally introduce bias through the choices they make, like what features to include, what data to collect, or how to define success. So, for example, like if a loan, let's say we have a loan approval algorithm and it's trained to predict who will like repay loan, but if it ignores systematic discrimination in lending history, it might unfairly deny certain groups, unfortunately. And the last this reason is lack of diversity in development teams. Unfortunately, many tech teams they lack the gender. They might have racial imbalances, or might lack cultural diversity, right? And what? Oops, sorry. um, and so that can mean that they might not foresee how a system can be unfair or even harmful to people unlike themselves. So diverse teamers are like more likely to question assumptions, so they can more design systems which is like more inclusive. So let's yeah. So it raises one significant question: who is accountable for these challenges? So, should these AI systems be hold like accountable as in a standard metric as humans? Like, if an AI denies someone a job, how can we challenge that decision? Like, right? So there are a couple of challenges regarding this because, like, right now in the currently in the AI field, we lack the clear legal or ethical frameworks to assign responsibility. And AI systems like operate in a like famous paradigm called black box way. Even their creators cannot fully explain how a decision was made. That's a serious problem, in fields like finance, law, or healthcare, right? Where decisions can affect lives. Yeah. So let's move on to the solutions to these significant issues. So, what can be done? There are some ways that these issues can be resolved. Like we can use more diverse and representative data sets. This means collecting data that accurately reflects all groups, especially groups which are marginal compared to others. That is important. So, and we and yeah, this algorithms that is responsible for running these AI systems should be tested, just like any critical system, to ensure they perform fairly across different groups. So, and also, developers can consider increasing transparency and explainability. Like, we need AI systems that can provide understandable reasons for their decisions, right, not just outcomes. Yep. Also, the last but not least, developer teams may consider including assistants. That's an interesting job. And communities in the design process. It ensures broader perspectives and better understanding of potential harms. So yeah, ultimately, fairness in AI is not just a technical challenge; it's a societal one. Yeah, that's pretty much. That's it. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. So, ethical dilemmas in artificial intelligence. So, my part is mostly about the surveillance, privacy, and rights. So, we live in a world where artificial intelligence can recognize our speech, our faces, our actions, and predict our behavior, analyze the data that it have. But the pivotal question is our privacy the price of the progress? Is that so? I mean, let's start with what's happening right now. AI-powered surveillance is no longer science fiction. It's real and growing faster. Facial recognition systems are used in cities around the world for public safety, airport security, and even law enforcement. And for example, in 2020, the Metropolitan Police of London deployed the live facial recognition, scanning over 42,000 people in a single operation and tagging just 8 suspects. So, what's the cost of all of this? It's not just our faces that are being tracked, it's our actions. It's everything actually. Through AI, through data mining, AI collects and connects the information from your online behavior, your purchases, even smart home devices. And this is not just about selling ads, it's about predicting your actions and your preferences and your even political leanings. Scandals like Cambridge Analytica showed us just how dangerous this can be. Millions of Facebook profiles were harvested and used to influence elections. And without users knowing or consenting, they are being actually recorded. And then there's a deeper psychological That there's a deeper psychological effect, what we're calling chilling effect. Also, what we're calling is chilling effect. And when people know they are being watched and they change their behavior, they can self-censor themselves, they conform. This kind of mass surveillance doesn't just restrict privacy, it threatens our democracy itself, actually. And let's talk about global look. So China's social credit system uses AI to track citizens, scoring them based on their behavior. Good behavior, like paying bills on time, earns rewards. But even minor infractions can mean travel bans or job losses. Kind of critics call it Orwellian, Orwellian, and it raises huge questions about freedom and human rights. So, where do we draw the line between safety and liberty? So, governments often justify surveillance with national security. In the US, the Patriot Act allowed vast data collections after 9/11, and debates continue, like the legal battle between Apple and the FBI over unlocking encrypted phones. But without oversight, this power can be abused, actually. And that's why we need strong privacy laws like GDPR and CCPA in California to protect our rights and hold companies accountable. So what should we what should we do about it? We need to build AI ethics into we need to build ethics into AI from the ground up. We must demand transparency, how these systems work, and what data they collect, and who has access. We must advocate for privacy, not as luxury, but as human right. And most importantly, we need to involve the public through education, discussion, democratic decision making, actually. So, in the end, technology shapes the future, but it's our ethics that decide what kind of future what that will be. So, I guess, yeah, that's it for my part. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Abdulbari Imyaminov, and now I'm gonna talk about the most controversial and pressing ethical dilemmas in AI. That's the use of autonomous weapons and modern warfare. So now we will explore the military practices, uh, the key ethical concerns, and finally talk about should AI make life or death decisions. First of all, I'm gonna talk about the AI in military applications. So AI uh, include the use of surveillance, target recognition, autonomous drones, and weapon systems in military cases. And why? Because the machines can act in a minimal human interaction and can be more precise and emotionless. First of all, the topic includes the ethical concerns. And the first ethical concerns is the decision to kill. We have to ask ourselves that should AI make the life or death decisions? Because AI has no any emotions and do not feel the human value because it lacks empathy, context, and human judgment while operating. And this leads to the high risk of civilian casualties and misidentification on targeting systems. The next AI concern is the loss of human control. While operating AI, there must be a minimal human interaction and human involvement in the decision loop, and based on the output that AI generate or the targeting of AI, no one can take the accountability, the responsibility while something happens. We cannot make the AI, the machine itself, or the developers work it on this product, or the military commander as a responsible. So it leads to autonomous escalation risks, which is an unexpected conflict. The next ethical concern is the most controversial one. Uh, as many softwares, as all software, any kind of software can have an error and bias. AI also inherits and makes the decisions based on the data it's trained on. So if there is any bias in the data, even after filtered, uh, the targeting or generally the output will be unexpected. And also, the AI applications can also be hacked and manipulated by the third party. So in terms of international regulations, nowadays there's no global treaty that bans the use of AI in the military, in the autonomous weapons and modern warfare. So of course there's ongoing some discussions on it by the UN, but it is so slow. So we have to debate, should AI make life or death decisions? There are two parts. The supporters say that AI is faster, more accurate, and emotionless, and it can 100% accuracy can act without human interaction, and this reduces soldier casualties. And on the other hand, others say it violates the human dignity. It removes the moral responsibility and never takes any kind of accountability, and this leads to global risk. So in terms of our case, we as an engineers must prioritize safety and accountability when building an AI product, when training the data for it, and also use ethical frameworks like utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics to make sure that the long-term consequences is more important than the technical appearance, than the technical output or performance. To conclude, AI in warfare raises and critical ethical and some legal questions. Um, and we need, first of all, need a clear identification for strong regulations, human interaction 100%, and ethical responsibility in engineering practice. So this is the end of my speech. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kender Sanjarbek, and so my part is employment and economic displacements in the age of AI. So let's start. Imagine you arrived at your work and your list task is already finished by the software you train it, and it can be exciting, but at the same time terrifying. The tension sits at the heart of today's ethical dilemma: employment and economic displacement in the age of AI. So let's anchor the debate in numbers. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs 2025 predicts that the 92 million jobs will disappear, and yet 170 million jobs will be born. leaving a net gain of 78 million. And sounds comforting. But until we realize that the gains and losses hit different kind of people, regions, and new skills. Separate McKinsey scenario doubles the displacement risk to 800 million. And if adoption accelerates, in short, the pile will grow, but the slices will shift dramatically. And ethically, so we see in two imperatives. On one side, uh, innovation unlocks trillions new value, cheap unlocks trillion new value, like cheaper drugs discovered by generative methods models, safer roads thanks to computer vision cars. On the other hand, OECD data show that wage inequality widening in algorithm substitute routine clerical. They basically work faster than the policy can react. So, basically, the Latin American studies warn people that the women and the recent graduates will stand to lose first. Progress without protection risks depending the social fault lines. And so, who takes the responsibility? Companies, governments, civil society. And so, companies cannot hide behind just saying it's just business. Ethical impacts of this before deployment and generous retraining budget must become the norm. IBM and Skillbuild is a good start, and so the government shaped the playing field. Think tax credits for firms that upskill workers. Singapore's SG United wage substitutes that keep thousand employment during tech transitions. Regulations like EU AI Act is also weaving skills clauses into compliance. And so society, civil society and labor unions, voices that those voices are left behind. The UK's Institute for the Future of Work now pushes legally binding learning guarantees into union contracts. In other words, the answer is collective, not slices, silhouette, not. And so the pathways. What does ethical future look like? We have four pillars: reskilling at scale. The WEF says that billion people need new uh, com- competencies by 2030. That's a planetary classroom. And lifelong learning ecosystem, the bite-sized micro credentials delivered exactly when tasks evolve. And the robust safety nets from wage insurance to pilot universal basic incomes, cushioning the inevitable transitional periods. And the inclusive AI designs, keeping humans in loop where dignity or safety is at stake. So the choice is not innovation or inclusion. It is innovation with inclusion. If we code that principle into every algorithm, the future of work can be not just automated, but elevated. So, thank you very much. Now, next person.
Ethical dilemmas in artificial intelligence. Let's talk about about my part, which is accountability and transparency. When it comes to AI, we don't know who is responsible when things go wrong. Like, imagine we are in a Tesla car and it's about to be crashed, and the accident happens. So who is responsible? Like the person who invented the car or the AI they used? So most of the time they have these questions are unanswered. So the first one is, who is responsible when things go wrong? That's the thing. AI system often makes decisions with minimal human oversight. Like they don't rely on humans all the time. But when they fail, who is accountable? You see, developer, you cannot like just set one person and you can decide if he's the reason why this failed. The user, that's you, or the company who invented the car, let's say Tesla. In that kind of situations, transparency is the key to ensure ethical oversight. So then let's go to the black box problem. What is black box problem in AI? Many AI models are like opaque. That means they are not understandable. You cannot catch the meaning. They are most of the time they're correct, like over 90% of the time correct, but you cannot know, you cannot understand why this is correct. Even creators can explain why individual decisions happening. The lack of interpretability create trust and legal issues. Like you know you know and the developers know it's setting it correctly, but you cannot interpret it correctly. That is the case. And let's have a look at the example scenario. What is the black box dilemma? Imagine a doctor saying, I don't know why the AI flagged this tumor as cancer. You scanned your body and the AI says you have a cancer, but which is not true. That's dangerous, right? You might take an operation, but you are healthy. That's very very dangerous for your health. So lack of transparency erodes trust and makes it harder to set responsibility to the person. So the next one is the black explainability and performance trade-off. So we know that one thing has a huge, like when one thing has advantage, it has disadvantage also. So let's see the trade-off between explainability and performance analytics. So we have two model types: deep neural nets and decision trees. Deep neural nets are high accuracy, but it's very low in explainability. There, you cannot explain it very much, but it is like its accuracy is maybe 90, maybe 98%. But decision trees, that is like accuracy is medium, like not as the same as deep neural nets, but the explainability is high. You can explain why this comes out to be true or why this comes out to be false. That is the advantage here. So having a look at this information, so what we can do, building, so we should build trust through transparent design. We should use explainable tools like Lime, Shap, or other tools, and we have to document training decisions, how these models are trained, how they're going to operate, how they're going to decide whether some data is happened before, or we have to know the circumstances. Then we have to keep human oversight where needed. Like most of the cases, yeah, we need that AI, but even after using it, humans have to check for its correctness or accuracy. That's it.